A plane carrying 102 passengers flew upside down above the heads of people below. This unprecedented flying maneuver ended up saving 96 lives. But in the final moments before the plane made an emergency landing, the captain never expected. This heroic act would end his flying career for good. In a semi-conscious state, the captain was dragged off the plane as chaos unfolded around him. When he finally woke up, the TV was flooded with news about the plane crash. There's no doubt the captain's decisions on board helped prevent the situation from worsening. But in the end, 4 passengers and 2 crew members lost their lives. Whenever there's loss of life, someone has to take responsibility. As soon as the captain regained consciousness, investigators arrived. They recorded every detail, including the captain's health status. It was then the captain learned that 2 flight attendants had died in the accident. They sacrificed their lives during the plane's malfunction to protect the passengers' safety. Although the media hailed him as a hero, the captain couldn't shake the guilt. As soon as he returned home from the hospital, he poured out all the alcohol in his house. Even though the crash was caused by mechanical failure, the captain believed that if he hadn't been drinking, maybe those 4 passengers and 2 flight attendants would still be alive. So he decided to quit drinking from that moment on. But just days later, a lawyer came to see him. Following a post-accident medical exam, it was found that the captain's blood alcohol level was dangerously high. If he had been driving, he would have been charged with DUI, let alone piloting a plane. If it was proven that the captain's drunkenness contributed to the deaths of the 4 passengers, he could face life imprisonment. The captain was confused by the accusation. He believed that if it weren't for his heroic actions, the death toll would have been much higher. But when he revisited the crash site, the guilt inside him became unbearable. The lawyer knew that the captain's flying skills were flawless, and he wanted to help him maintain that hero image. The airline also wanted to clear the captain's name as quickly as possible to shift the blame onto the aircraft manufacturer. Their plan was to destroy any evidence of the captain's alcohol intake. The lawyer intended to argue that the hospital's testing equipment was outdated and request the results be invalidated. But for that to happen, the captain had to stay sober and convince 2 surviving colleagues to testify that he hadn't been drinking while flying. However, both the head flight attendant and the co-pilot clearly remembered the strong smell of alcohol on the captain. But they also knew that it was the captain's brave actions that saved their lives, so both agreed to help cover up the truth. Just as everything seemed to be going according to plan, the investigation team discovered 2 empty bottles of alcohol on the plane. Because the flight had encountered severe turbulence before takeoff, there had been no meal service for the passengers. So these 2 empty bottles clearly belonged to the crew. Further checks revealed that in addition to the captain, another flight attendant's blood also contained traces of alcohol. So, if the captain insisted during the investigation that the bottles belonged to the deceased colleague, he could completely clear himself of suspicion.